All right, well, this is my 97 Suzuki Savage 650, and I got this bike back in 2006 for 500 bucks off my buddy's mom, and I sold it a year later to a buddy for 600. He had it for 11 years, put 300 miles on it. I bought it back for 7, then did this. I've wanted to make this video for a while. Been very busy, so we'll go over some things today, and then I'm gonna tear it apart and kind of do a quick refresh to get it ready for spring. And I'm running out of time. Let's go. Okay, so I'm gonna do my best to try and cover the things that I've done to this. Don't mind my messy garage. Working on that as well. So I post on the Suzuki Savage Facebook page a lot, and a lot of people kind of want to know things I've done. So start with these little turn signals. These are just like cheap eBay turn signals, and I took the original part that gets screwed in from the back to kind of secure this in, and I tapped it so that way this could screw in, the wiring all runs through, comes out the backside. So that was one of the things I did that some people have asked about. I currently don't have a speedometer. It's not the biggest problem. I do plan on mounting one. This is my compression release valve. I got rid of all the mechanical stuff for no reason other than I didn't want it. Yes, I am missing a bolt up there because the hardtail kind of got in the way. We'll cover over that stuff later on. So a lot of people say about when you shut it off and the bike pops. With having this, when I shut it off, I can, right before it's ready to pop, I can just release any of the pressure that's in there. If it's bad for it, I've been doing it for 2 years and I haven't had an issue. I did make my own foot clutch. So this is the clutch. I have no clutch lever. I used a piece of tubing. I cut a little slit in it so I could run the cable through. And this is just the factory lever part that was curved. It's now straighter. This is a 1/4 inch 8mm socket that it's kind of hard to see, but all I did was I have that notched so the cable can go in. Kind of one-handing it. So the cable can go in and slide it back in, and then it goes up. And then when you push the shifter down, it does rub, but it's fine. This is the factory shift lever, and that used to run back to this, which is all the factory stuff. So foot clutch, hand shift. I do, when it was a swing arm, I did this because I wanted to do a regular jockey shift back here, but with the swing arm I wasn't able to do that. So I have this. This was a shift knob that was in my dad's truck back when I was a younger kid. So he asked me if I wanted it, and I said, I'll throw it on here. This is just the factory cover. I drilled all those holes. I saw someone did that on Google, and I thought that looked good, so I did it. I do have chain drive, along with the Voodoo vintage hardtail. I bought the hardtail as a complete kit, and welded it all up, and squared it all up myself. Haven't had any issues. This is the TC Bros faux oil tank and their battery box. Probably gonna drill the holes in this kind of to match that. I just kind of got it together for the riding season. This is the Ryca front sprocket and the Ryca rear sprocket, but I don't think you can get them anymore. I bought them, they were on sale. These are 1-inch ID washers from Lowe's to help center everything. This is a cheapo tank I got off of Marketplace. It was new. I welded a mount up top, and at the bottom I drilled a hole through the frame. I sleeved it, welded that in, and then I bolted it. This is a Petcock kit from Billet Proof Designs. They're in Collegeville, PA, as well as the inline gas tank site. I do have like a mountain bike Speedo. It doesn't work, so I'm not going to be using that. I did wrap my tank in vinyl, and I did a terrible job, but just because it was bare metal, I didn't want it to rust much. I moved the starter button down here. I still have tons of work of cleaning up wiring. I used my factory ignition switch for time being. I just welded a bolt to the frame and I bolted it on. Like I said, factory Speedo cable. These boots are shock boot covers for my old Jeep Wrangler. They could be shorter, but it's fine. What else? These are 14-inch apes. Yes. And all I did, well, because I don't have a clutch up there anymore, so that's not a problem. I did buy a new brake line, and I just lengthened all my wires because I ran all of my wires inside the bars. My brake wires go in here, come out, and look terrible down here. And then all of my controls, I lengthened all them, ran them down through. I got a cheap throttle setup and the hammer grips. The seat I got at a flea market for $40, and that's kind of what started this build. These foot pegs are from a 83 Suzuki GS 550. They match the grips, in my opinion, and they look older, which I would like to get something closer for the foot pegs. I'm going to change them out. The exhaust is terrible. When my buddy had it for the short amount of, well, for the 11 years he did, he put that on with just like some AutoZone exhaust things. What are they called? Small pipe, bigger pipe. That. So I just cut it off and welded it with my old flux core welder before I got my new Eastwood welder. I have no rear brake light switch. It is here. I do have rear brakes. The Voodoo Vintage hardtail extended it. I believe it's 4 inches, and it's supposed to lower it like 3. But since I did it all myself, I was able to make my own ride height. Which, as you can see, is not much. If I do turn, it does scrape kind of here. I have no issues riding. I almost dropped it. I have no issues riding this anywhere except for speed bumps. So it's not that bad. I used my factory brake cable. I made this sleeve out of some like tubing from Lowe's, and then I welded in nuts that were the same thread as this, and I was still able to use the factory adjuster. Have had no issues with that. I made the sissy bar. The sissy bar looks terrible, and I will be redoing it. It's not exactly straight. I believe it's just 1/2 inch solid rod. I got it from Lowe's. It came in whatever section it came in, and it wasn't long enough to do the entire up and down and around. So I had to join it. And then when I did that, it was not the right anything. So I cut it and welded it. I didn't grind it or clean it up. I was just kind of worried about riding it for the last summer. This is a Harley Davidson classic front fender that I can't really see. I cut about a ½ inch out of the middle to make it narrower. And then I cut all these kind of relief marks so I could radius it to the fender. It is kind of bending. I hope that I was starting to take this off before I decided to video it, and that's not just been loose. This is a trailer light from Tractor Supply. It was like $10. I just made the license plate bracket, and that's all kind of made there. I got corners to finish up. The brake stay is a piece of quarter, maybe 3/16. It looks like quarter. I tried to do something kind of cool between here, like I had seen someone else do. Didn't work. Huge epic fail. It broke. I welded this on. It's welded on the bottom side and the top side. I haven't had any issues. I have I believe that's the rectifier. I have that mounted up there. Got the seat mounted. It is quite a pain to take it apart. So I will probably move some things around. I'm probably going to move this forward a little bit because it's hard to get in there. I made all my own like fender supports. All my wiring for the rear end is all one plug, so it's easier to take off. That's something I kind of did that's newer. And guess that's, oh, I made a chain tensioner. It is whatever is stronger than grade 8. I got this sprocket off of eBay. It's just a sprocket that has a 5/8 hole with a bearing. So this is just a free spinning sprocket. It's the same as the chain, which I do not know offhand. It's a 530 chain. It's upside down, but you can see it. It's the 530 chain. So I got the right sprocket, and I made this kind of adjuster so I can adjust it, and it's been working great. It may not be the greatest looking, but I need some things to be function over looks. But yeah, wait, that is really bent looking. I've had people in the back. It's not bad. The gearing is a little bit high. It's a little bit, it could be a little slower. I don't think, since it's been a hardtail, I've had it on the highway, and I don't think I've ever used 5th gear. So I could probably use like a couple teeth bigger in the back. To a little bit more torque would be perfectly fine. Especially if you wanted to haul somebody else around, it would make life a lot easier. If anybody has any specific questions or wants another video, let me know, and that'll be fine. Okay, see you later.